And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Two Schmoes Show. I'm your host, the infamous Orion, and I am everywhere. I'm everything, everywhere, all at once.
I'm Cairo, and I'm Vengeance.
And I guess we're going on the movie tangent right now. Uh,
Yeah, we might as well.
what a slow week for film.
It has. We have exactly one movie of note that's coming out, and the only thing that's noteworthy about it is that it pointed out to me how mid of an actor Liam Neeson has been lately.
You know, go on about your little tangent about Liam Neeson, because I'm going to agree with you on that.
Yeah, well, it's one of those. Liam Neeson is an actor that I have a lot of respect for. He has played a lot of iconic roles over the last since his career started, basically. You know, uh, Schindler's List is absolutely an iconic piece of media for good reason. And his role in the first Star Wars movie is kind of the prequels weren't great, but they have been seen a lot for a reason,
Yes.
and he's a part of that. So he's always stood out to me as like a good actor, but I've never looked at his filmography from like a reviews perspective. And there's a very clear trend of him doing like one or two really good movies every 5 years, and then it being padded out with a bunch of very mediocre movies for the rest of the time.
So I do have to ask this, right?
Yeah.
With anybody who does film like this, right?
Yeah.
If a majority of their work is pretty mid, but they do have some like grand diamonds, does that officiate them as a great actor, or does it make them a mid actor since that's the average product that they put out?
It's hard to say, you
Yeah.
know? I think that whether or not someone is a great actor isn't particularly relevant to their body of work compared to their peak of their work.
So I was going to say the exact same thing because I feel that's how it is for any kind of art, really.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, always go more on the peaks rather than the consistency because making shit is fucking hard.
Yep. And it is also one of the things that does help to differentiate like the true greats is when they just don't let up.
Yeah.
You know, when you have like a Shakespeare or a Da Vinci where it's just banger after banger, it stands out because of that.
Okay. I mean, I don't know.
You cannot tell me that Romeo and Juliet and the Vitruvian Man are not bangers.
Okay, here's what I'm about to say, right?
Yes.
I was about to say Beethoven. Shakespeare is very good. I will say I will call myself a Shakespeare fan,
Yeah.
but in my humble opinion, Romeo and Juliet, which is often
Yeah.
cited as his best work, is mid compared to
Sure.
Macbeth.
Relatively, I think that's fair. I actually saw a really good, like, 2 sentence breakdown of why so many people don't like Shakespeare. And it's because they're forced to read it in, like, sixth grade, and they're forced to read it and their plays.
Yeah, I agree. I think Shakespeare is something that shouldn't be read by middle schoolers or even some
Yep.
high schoolers. Because Shakespeare is fucking dense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It's like, imagine having someone read Les Mis.
Mm-hmm.
And it immediately clearly falls apart because it's not meant to be read. It's meant to be watched by someone putting on a performance.
Yes, I agree. Because a lot of Shakespeare is poetry.
Yep.
And no fucking teenager is going to know how to use poetry properly or even
Yeah.
recite a canta or monologue properly.
Mhm. Like, it's not even particularly like it's pretty dense at times.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
And if you don't know what you're saying, you're going to sound like a fucking idiot. Like, let me pull up some Shakespeare, you know? We're getting real fucking scholarly this episode, everybody.
Mhm.
Okay,
all in the name of Liam Neeson's Blacklight.
oh yeah, I'm sorry. We were on Liam Neeson. We got stuck on Shakespeare. That's right.
Yeah. There's also this trend. Who was it? Cosmonaut Marcus, Cosmonaut Picture Show,
Yes.
did a video lately talking about um the let me see if I can find like the actual title, but the gist of it was like he apparently gets this criticism of being contrarian a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, is there any actual truth to that? So he went ahead and started going through the like top and I think it was mostly the top movies of like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb
Mm-hmm.
to see like what is the consensus on them and what did he give them. And you start to see this really clear trend in a lot of movies where they are like critically bad, but audiences like them, or vice versa. And when you try to be somewhere in the middle, where it probably is, you start to get these like contrarian labels where you're always saying that the stuff that the audience like isn't really that good, and you're saying that the stuff the audience doesn't like is actually better than they think it is. So we have stuff like the current one is Memory, is that's the current Liam Neeson action thriller movie that I'm sure is so different from everything else he's done in that space. Has an audience score of 81% and a critic score of 30. Blacklight has an audience score of 82 and a critic score of 8.
Mm-hmm.
The Marksman 83, critic score of 39. It's just the same thing going all the way down. You can even go back to like the first Taken movie. The first Taken movie had an audience score of 85 and a critic score of 59. It's technically a rotten score by Rotten Tomatoes metrics.
Yes.
It has more unfavorable than favorable reviews. And it's one of the things that he's probably best known for in the current, lexicon.
Well, yeah. Ask 9 out of 10 people, they'll say Taken. Ask
Mhm.
1 in 10, they're going to say The Lion King because Disney adults are fucking everywhere nowadays.
Yep. And there's the weird people like me that are just like Schindler's List. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you're not allowed in the gene pool anymore, Kyril.
I'm too cultured. This is a
No,
reverse Gattaca.
no, because leftists nowadays need to like envision a
Oh.
more, a more PC world where we don't acknowledge the horrors of the Holocaust because they focus mainly on Jewish people, and the right will just deny the Holocaust outright. So that's why
No true leftist.
no true leftists. So that's why you can't mention Schindler's List anymore, Kyril. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Yep. May I have your breeding card back? We can't allow you to breed.
Yeah, like I was doing that already. Okay, this is disappointing. Apparently people liked Men in Black International.
Motherfucker,
Ugh.
what? Chris Hemsworth's Men in Black?
Yeah. Apparently Liam Neeson's in it in some capacity.
Oh my gosh. I forget this movie even came out.
This is actually so I think these people are giving it too much credit. It has an audience score of 66% right now. There's a surprising number of like 3-star reviews that are just like, it's fine. It's not Men in Black, but it's fine. People need to like actually be fairly reviewing this as just like fine action, but not what I wanted.
Mom, pick me up. I'm scared.
What is this? Reviewers that actually thought about what they were writing?
Chuck Hughes. Nobody thinks about what they write nowadays.
Oh. It's all either 1s or 5s.
Yeah, dude. Come on. Like, you got to think like an underpaid school teacher. It's
Mm.
either a pass or a fail. And you got to think, do you want this to come back into your life or not? It's just that simple.
You sort by box office? Oh, okay, that checks out. You want to take a guess what his top box office movies are? Should never guess.
Taken 2.
No.
Lion King?
Although that is like top 10. No, I don't know if he's. Is he in? Are you sure he's in that? Because it's not showing up.
I thought he was Mufasa.
He was slated to, but didn't end up doing it. James Earl Jones was cast for Mufasa in the end.
What the fuck? Is this some Mandela effect shit?
Apparently, yes. Actually, he voiced Aslan in *Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe*.
Have I just been confusing those two?
Apparently, like he was genuinely slated to do the role. To be
Okay.
fair,
Yeah.
it just didn't go through.
My apologies, James Earl Jones.
He voiced the main lion character in a different Disney movie.
Damn it, Disney.
But no, his number one is Star Wars Episode 1, to no surprise.
Mm.
Then after that is the Chronicles of Narnia. I kind of want to rewatch this because I always just assumed that it was like just kind of generic sci-fi, or not sci-fi, fantasy type stuff. But apparently there's like heavy Christian themes in it that I completely missed when I saw this when I was like 12.
What, the Jesus Lion movie?
Yeah.
Did you not think Jesus when the lion is killed?
No. So I read the books for it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have like the visual aspect of it. I was just reading this like because it was like around the same time where I was reading like some of the Lord of the Rings stuff and The Hobbit and Aragon and that series. And it's like, oh, okay, this is another popular fantasy series. Cool. And it's well written, but I just never got that illusion. But I guess people were like busing church groups to go see it, kind of thing.
What? Like
I
will say, I see the Jesus lion in this movie,
Mhm.
but what?
Yeah, apparently there's like other stuff, and it's very intentional, I guess.
Well, yeah. Wasn't the author like a Christian apologist? Yeah, C.S. Lewis was
Probably.
Yeah. Let's see here. Symbolism in the Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. The White Witch represents the power of Satan. Aslan symbolizes goodness and Jesus. Turkish delight represents sin and temptation. And the stone table is a symbolic of end of law and the beginning of freedom, as well as Moses's 10 stone tablets that held the 10 commandments.
You thought you were just reading Lord of the Rings light, but actually it's Christian propaganda.
God. I don't know. It is good symbolism, at least, where everything is so drenched in metaphor that
yeah. Well, like you can like in my experience, you can just read through the whole series and not pick up on it.
Jesus lion. That's
Jesus lion.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fucking Gandalf's not Jesus.
Are you sure about that?
I thought it was the same thing. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, let's figure that out.
He smokes weed. You can't smoke weed if you're Christian.
Oh no. Wait, does Gandalf canonically smoke pipe? Oh my god.
That is what he smokes in his pipe. They specifically call it something like the halfling's weed or something like that. It's not like weed, but it's like the halflings fill in the blank for greenery that they grow and smoke.
Oh, this is fucking cursed.
It's in The Hobbit, I think, that they say it.
So you type in Gandalf Jesus into Google.
Oh, jeez. I'm sure this is going to be productive.
I'm going to...
Gandalf Jesus.
Yeah. These eyes in this portrait that's staring at me scare me. You see it, right?
Yeah. That's rough.
Technically, a lot of characters can be Jesus if you let them. Tony Stark.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just kind of generic. So,
I mean, like, Jesus is literally the most famous figure for those kind of stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are Tolkien fans, was Gandalf inspired by Jesus?
Well, was he?
It's the kind of thing where if you like generalize anything enough, it's the what is it 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, where if you just like make connections and make connections and generalize and make connections, you can connect anything to anything else. It's the idea that because there's so many people in the world and you interact with so many people, that anyone can directly connect themselves to anyone else by 6 connections or less.
Well, I'm definitely in the outer Lex. Uh, Connections for Kevin Bacon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's currently tied up in my basement right now.
Explains why he's not been doing too much work lately.
Yeah, so Kevin Bacon, despite the name, does not make very good bacon. He has to pay for that.
Unfortunate. Sounds like his feet aren't very loose now.
Ha, ha, ha. I don't like that movie.
Eh, it's a product of its time.
It's such a product of its time. Like, who the fuck is gonna ban dancing? Huh? Who is the Ted Cruz motherfucker who's gonna ban dancing?
I don't remember. Did they ban like it's like a blanket ban, isn't it?
I think it's a blanket ban. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like they could have. They had. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yo.
But like, it seems like the kind of thing. And
What we need is like a show
failing me.
to do the Footloose story where they're trying to unban dancing, right? And like once the kids get dancing back, it's just fucking like pagan sacrifice dancing where they just take like the
Yeah.
weakest child, opens his stomach up, and then they
See,
start
that's what
doing...
I was wondering because I remember the other part of it is that they get rock music banned as well.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking like there's this you could very easily have it tie in with uh the trends of banning rock and jazz and those sort of related genres that were not explicitly but thinly veiled as like a race thing.
Oh yeah.
And that would like make sense and be a bit more, you know, understandable to later generations. Because
Everything.
as it is, it's kind of a thin premise.
What you don't understand is if the kids just keep dancing, they won't have room in their lives for Jesus lying. Okay, that line fell flat. Good to know. Good to know. Making some notes.
Yeah.
Jesus lion stops being funny after we talk about Narnia.
Yeah.
Do not try to do a callback. So, other than Liam Neeson, do we have anything before Doctor Strange comes out?
No. I mean, like, technically, yes, but not really.
Yeah.
The other one is Firebird, that, like, I think we briefly mentioned last week,
Wait, didn't the
but
bad
it's, like,
guys come out?
officially. That was last week. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Totally forgot.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're in the final countdown for the next Marvel
Yep.
movie. God help us.
We have. We can talk about Green Ghost if you want to.
Why the fuck not? Like,
Yeah.
this was such a great rabbit hole we had before the show started.
This
Cairo,
one went deep.
yeah. Tell us about Green Ghost, my friend.
So, oh god, he uses his own name. In a Texas border town, car salesman Charlie moonlights as a masked lucha libre wrestler going by the name Green Ghost. When unknown assailants arrive seeking an otherworldly emerald, Charlie discovers that he has superpowers. As he learns to fight from the unconventional Master Jin, Charlie is told that he's part of a secret warrior triad of light with his childhood friend Marco and Marco's sister Karina, led by Lanana. Together, they've been chosen to protect humanity from Drake, the embodiment of the Mayan apocalypse. As a Stargate is opened by a Mexican pyramid, Drake seeks the power to destroy mankind, and Charlie, linked to the power of the Emerald, is the only one who can stop him.
What the fuck?
Charlie must harness both his physical and mystical strength to save humanity and go from Gringo to Green Ghost.
What the
In the
fuck?
style of comedy, horror, martial arts movies of the 70s and 80s, director Michael Olmost's Green Ghost and the Masters of the Stone is a comedic anti-hero action movie filled with adventure for the entire family.
What the fuck did you just read?
That's the synopsis.
You did not read me that synopsis beforehand. That's
No, I didn't. I
have so many
Here's the thing,
questions.
though. I didn't because I didn't realize it had more to it. I thought that it cut off after Danny Trejo, but there's a show more on it. I just thought that was it.
Oh my gosh, what was that? Where did the emerald come from? What emerald? They just mentioned an emerald.
Yes. The really confusing thing, so it's implied that he's able to do this like lucha libre bullshit because of the emerald,
Okay.
but in the trailer they show it in like the wrong order
Yeah.
because they have him getting the shit kicked out of him at his car dealership and then being the Green Ghost after the lucha libre thing. I don't know. It seems dumb. But
yeah.
critics are raving, all 0 of them.
All 0 of them. Thank you.
There's like 8 critic or audience reviews.
Those poor
My
favorite
favorite
bastards.
thing, favorite thing is that the YouTube trailer. So Charlie, the main character here, who plays Green Ghost, the car salesman, his actual name is Charlie Clark, and he's actually owns the auto dealership in the movie, apparently.
I mean,
And if you look through the YouTube comments, you'll find stuff like, I bought a car from Charlie and it was the worst experience I've ever experienced. I imagine the movie will be the same.
what's up with like small business owners and just preaching their vanity projects like this? And then including
It apparently seems to be what it is. He bankrolled, I guess, probably the whole movie in exchange for getting to be the lead in it. And also, Danny Trejo's character has like a flask in his hand the entire time and just never sets it down.
Actual Danny Trejo right there.
It's where his magic comes from.
Hell yeah. So, I mean, it just sounds like another cinematic masterpiece from Danny Trejo.
Oh, absolutely. A tour de force.
Yes. No man has contributed so much to film as Danny Trejo. And I both mean that ironically and unironically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Danny
It's mixed, for sure.
Yeah. I will say this, right? Danny Trejo is a national treasure.
Yes.
And no matter what he puts out, I will still support him on the grounds that he's Danny fucking Trejo and he can do no wrong.
So I'll say I was joking about the flask thing, but like in almost every single picture of him, he does have it in his hand.
Oh no.
And there's a couple of these where he's like posturing and gesturing with it. I think it is like literally where his magic comes from.
Oh, that
might not even be a joke.
That reminds me of the Super Mario Brothers movie. Did you ever hear the story about that?
No.
Oh God. Okay, I'm going to pull this up. Apparently, like the actors for the Super Mario Brothers movie back in the 80s were actually all drunk on set because it was just such a miserable
I believe
experience. Okay.
I totally believe it.
Come on, Google. The actors were drunk. Apparently, the filming was so laborious that the lead actors had to get drunk to do it. John Leguizamo brought some scotch onto set, and he, Bob Hopkins, would drink between scenes repeatedly. Hell yeah, dude. Have you ever seen that movie?
That's kind of how you have to do it.
Yeah.
No, I have very intentionally not.
I've seen that movie 3 times in my goddamn life. So we also kind of went on this tangent about trying to discover more about Danny Trejo, and
Yes.
we found he owns his own restaurant now, Trejos Tacos. And my favorite thing about this restaurant is that Danny Trejo models all the merchandise for it. And he actually did like individual photos for each one where they could have easily just like absolutely just done like green screen photos for him, which I'm sure they did for the merchandise to get it right.
I don't
But
know. Like if you look at the shadows, I don't think they did.
it's either some very advanced Photoshop or it's real.
Yeah, I feel like given that it is his company, it'd probably be cheaper just to be like, "Hey, Danny, can you pose for the new merch?" And be like, "Oh yeah," it's like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If you don't have to Photoshop and you just have someone who's good with a camera, it's really quick.
I do need to go to this taco stand once in my life.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you could probably make a bucket list of like celebrity owned and or run restaurants that would be fun to go to.
Yo, let's see if there's actually like a list. Celebrity owned. Okay, so are we just doing this like strictly non-celebrity chef restaurants?
Yes, non-celebrity chefs.
Okay, because I've eaten at Paula Deen's before.
Yep. I have eaten at Emerald's
Motherfucker.
in Louisiana. It's not like Emerald's, but it is the restaurant and bar that he owns in New Orleans.
That's still impressive.
It was fun. He wasn't there, of course, but it was fun.
Oh,
It's a cool place.
I half expected you to be like, yeah, I met him. He was absolutely a great
Oh, no.
guy.
I was so underdressed. I just sat at the bar and I still felt awkward.
Okay.
It's like I was there on a school trip. We were going to a conference, right? So
Yeah.
I just have like conference, like comfortable all day wear type things, not fancy dinner wear at all. So I've just got like this kind of wrinkled button down in jeans. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna get kicked out.
Did they give you the look down? Did they like look you up and down?
No, they didn't. They were super nice.
Whoa.
I was like clearly part of this event that was going on, I think, and they kind of recognized it and was just like, yeah, whatever, it's just some kid. But I was old enough to drink at that point. So bartender guy was like super nice and chill about it because it was at kind of a weird time and it wasn't super busy. And it was just fine.
Okay. So first
My
up,
money cleared, so they don't care, I guess, right?
I mean, dude, you're paying customer.
Right, yeah.
For all they know, you're spending your college tuition there.
Yeah, basically. If I ordered real dinner, I probably would have.
So first up on our list, right?
Yeah.
Little Pine by Moby.
Oh, that would be cool. I gotta look this up. What does it look like?
I'm trying to find out. It's apparently a slightly pricey restaurant. It's got 4.5 stars.
Oh, it's closed.
No.
Employees from Moby's closed vegan restaurant say celebrity owner Moby left us all high and dry. Oh no. Not like this, Moby.
Okay, so onward then.
Maybe past that one.
Chicken and beer.
Oh, it had to close because of COVID.
Oh,
That's rough.
yeah. R.I.P. I totally understand that. Next on the list is Chicken and Beer by Ludacris.
Okay.
Tangine Beverly Hills by Ryan Gosling. Let's see.
Be interesting.
Yeah. Nick and Norman's. I'm sorry, Nick and Norman's. Greg Nicotero? Nicotero? Is that a person? The only
Nicotero.
Yes.
He is an American prosthetic makeup artist known for The Walking Dead most recently.
Yeah, that makes sense because this is also owned by Norman Reedus.
Yep. So they must have gone in on it together.
Oh, I'm sure. Michael Jordan's Steakhouse. Guess who owns it?
I Dwayne Johnson.
Yes, you're right. Congratulations.
Perfect. 10 out of 10.
Yes. Apparently there's a franchise of Michael Jordan's Steakhouse.
Might have been to one.
You think so?
I think so. Let me see if there's any. It just like it sounds familiar. Maybe it was. I'm sure that's the kind of thing. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a rich person now. I'm going to open a steakhouse. Like, sure.
I do sometimes think these are just elaborate money laundering schemes.
I might actually have. Where's this other location? Because there's one in Chicago and one in Oak Brook outside of Chicago. And that's like not far from where I would have been a couple of times. So it's like it's not the most outrageous thing, but it doesn't seem right. I feel like it was in Michigan, this place that I'm thinking of.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna go with no.
There's Saints and Sinners by Channing Tatum.
Really leaned into that, didn't he?
You think?
Like I get that he has one marketable trait, but that seems a bit much.
Nah, dude.
New
There's like
Orleans,
nobody else
yeah.
interesting, but a lot of Michael Jordan restaurants. Oh shit, there was Eminem's mom's spaghetti restaurant.
Oh yeah.
How do we forget about that? We are literally in the hometown, in home state.
Detroit. Gotta go do that. That'd be cool.
Oh, dude, like going on just a fucking quest to get some of Eminem's mom's spaghetti,
Yeah.
dude. Could you imagine how fucked the drive-through for that is?
Oh, I'm sure it's awful.
Yeah, dude. Like you get fucking memed to death. Really hope M pays those kids well.
It's like I mean it looks like spaghetti. It looks good, but I mean it looks like spaghetti, so what do you what else is it gonna look like?
At least it's not mixed spaghetti.
Yeah.
Have you?
Apparently he had a pop-up restaurant in LA during the Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh no.
That's one of those things that's happening a lot more frequently. These like pop-up there's a term for them, but these pop-up restaurants.
So have you ever
I can't remember what
seen
it's called.
mixed spaghetti?
No.
It is the grossest looking food on this planet. It's legitimately McDonald's spaghetti. Do you see it?
Oh, did you say? Oh, I'm sorry. I scrolled down. Oh, that looks awful.
Doesn't it look awful? It's literally just a bunch of noodles in like their McNugget box with.
See, I don't really get that. You think? I guess the problem is that it's McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like noodles should be so easy. Noodles are really easy to make,
Mhm.
but you like can't really make them in advance super well.
No, no, you
You
cannot.
can, but not with the way that McDonald's operates. Not for like a one-off thing like this. Looks awful.
Isn't it?
Pasta looks so bland and the sauce just looks so red. It's too
It's
red.
yeah. That is ketchup. That is not sauce.
Yes. And then you get like 5 pieces of cheese
Five
sprinkled on top.
whittled cheese,
Yeah.
and there's just so much noodle compared to like sauce.
Ah. So the thing that I was thinking about is called like ghost restaurants.
Oh, okay, go on.
Have, have you heard of these? So it's like the idea, particularly around like content creators. I know content creators have done this a lot where they open, air quotes, open a restaurant for a limited time where they don't actually open anything. They just basically have a handful of specific, usually themed dishes that they offer based around their branding that are available to be ordered online and delivered to a certain specific area. And they're just made at like a actual restaurant that organizes this and just does the cooking, but it's not a physical location you go to.
Isn't that
So
what
you
they
don't have to
did?
have like the physical marketing or the physical, tables and seating and branding at that location. It's all done online and in the packaging, and it gets delivered to you.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that what they did for fucking Garfield Eats?
Probably. Yeah, that's like the exact kind of thing that they would do.
Garfield Eats. So, did you ever see Garfield Eats?
No. Yeah, Garfield Eats was a ghost restaurant themed after the Garfield franchise. Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they did pizza.
Yep. Go figure.
Would you like to see a Garfield shaped pizza?
Oh God. No, but do
I,
it
it's
anyways.
already
Oh,
sent.
what?
Yes,
Not only does that not look like Garfield, that just looks. Why do they put? Is that onion?
I think that's onion.
Onion, and it's not pepperoni. That's just like
It's
slices of sausage.
that's really jank
No, it's not.
pepperoni.
That looks awful.
And what the?
So okay,
Yeah, go on.
it's overcooked for one, overcooked, overfloured,
Yes, yes.
just to start. It doesn't have tomato sauce. That's like pesto or some other non-tomato based sauce because it's like orange.
Yeah,
Then you have too much onion. I'll be frank. That is too much onion.
it's a tunyon.
And they have, I guess, pepperoni. I think it's supposed to be pepperoni, but it looks more like bad ham.
I love how we're just
And
like
then they have these vaguely ear-shaped tumors on the top of it.
it reminds me of the Batman pizza from
Oh
Domino's.
my god. Yeah, it kind of is.
Oh man, where is that? Oh, sorry, it was Little Caesars. Oh man, my corporate branding is so wrong. I almost got one of those Batman pizzas. There's a Little Caesars like right down the road from me that was doing the promotion.
That's so bad. I didn't remember this. I barely heard about it.
Really? Because like I thought like
Yeah,
long and hard for
that's
like 20
so dumb.
minutes.
Oh, I promise you, if I knew, I would have gotten this.
It looks so awful.
Oh, report of the week got one. Go figure. I'll say, seeing like actual ones that people have gotten, it looks not good, because it's still Little Caesars, and Little Caesars got to where it is not by being good, but buying cheap and quick. It doesn't look atrocious though, honestly.
Oh, good sir. Let me show you one Batman pizza from Reddit that will get you that's the Batman pizza from hell, my friend. Overcooked. The cheese is just gooing out in the wrong directions. It's not even
like
cut.
that looks good. I'd
Mm.
eat that.
But that's a review bra pizza. They're going to do their best for review bra.
No, because I don't think so.
Yeah?
I don't he, like what, less than 1 million views? They probably don't even know who he is.
I don't know, dude.
I mean that is definitely burned though.
Why are corporations ruining food?
Here we go.
I'm so glad I
Perfect.
ate before this podcast.
Perfect.
Oh no. What are you sending me? Oh, it's on his. Oh, Robert Pattinson, take that off your outfit.
You're gonna get grease all over your fingers.
Well, who is the mad lad that put a Batman pizza on Batman? God.
Apparently it was a Canada thing.
What's that mean?
The Batman calzone
That's not a
was apparently
calzone.
exclusive. I know. But apparently it was a limited time thing in certain cities in Canada,
Weird.
which isn't super uncommon. So like, okay, required viewing for cultured people. Empleman's new Coke video.
Okay.
Highly recommend it. It's also, and I'm surprised you didn't bring it up. It's the reason why now so many companies test products in Canada and New Zealand before they release them to major markets, because their tastes are basically the same to like the broader European and American markets, but you're dealing with like a 20th the number of people just to start, and then you can make it even less targeted there. And it's changing, but for a long time, stuff just didn't really get out of certain regions in terms of social media. It was a lot more closed off.
Hmm.
So it's really common for companies to have new ideas that they'll try, like stupid shit like this calzone, that they would go ahead and test out in other regions. I remember there was some video game releases that had regional releases. they did. Um, and one of them came up for auction recently. I'll see if I can find it. But it came up Canada exclusive game auction. And it sold for big money because it's these, limited release things that didn't get like officially made, let alone widespread. And it leads to stuff like this. I'm sure there's, let me see if I can find this too. Um, it's fairly common. See if there's like a wiki. Curious if we can find anything. There's apparently a whole forum for Canada exclusive DVD releases. Uh, there's another forum for Canadian variant retro games and different box arts, but it's pretty common. It's like releasing something in a test market. And it tends to work out pretty well. If it goes bad, they don't go through with it. If it goes good, they release it to wider audiences. But if you have something like New Coke, you can there's a reason why they did it the way that they did. But generally, it's the kind of thing that you want to test to make sure people don't hate it.
So
People hated New Coke.
if we were to start our own ghost restaurant, what would our
Yeah.
food be?
Their food be. I would want to do like pop up or ghost restaurant.
Let's do both.
Okay, for a pop up, I would want to do grilled cheese.
Ooh, like Tom and
I
Cheese
think
style?
you could. I don't know. I don't know how exactly I would do it, but I think that that's the kind of thing that is like comfort food, but still handheld food
Yeah.
that people can like walk up, get, and take away with them. That would sell really well and would be good. It's hard to not like grilled cheese.
Lactose intolerance.
Fuck them. Get them out of my gene pool.
Take away their breeding cards. Uh, okay, so I'm up for that. Tom and Cheese style, definitely. Have you ever been to a Tom and Cheese?
I haven't.
So basically, gourmet grilled cheese. Pretty good.
I gotta look this up. I'm looking this up now.
Yeah, they were on Shark Tank, and I actually went to one. They had one up in Grand Rapids. No longer here. Uh, my memory on them is kind of tainted because that was the place where I had my epiphany that I needed to lose fucking weight. So now I always associate Tom and Chi with just being a fucking fat ass.
Unfortunately, the closest one is 210 miles away.
Where is it?
Ohio.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, again, there was one up in Grand Rapids. I went to it. It was good. It was good.
Yeah, Michigan loses all our good stuff.
What the fuck is up with Michigan just losing shit?
Right? I'll say though, in my experience, the best grilled cheese is always cheap,
Yes.
if that makes sense. It's like pure garbage and grease.
The greasier the better.
White bread, cheddar, feels like you need a shower after. I was say one of the best ones I had was actually on that trip to New Orleans. There was like a food court they had built into the convention center, and they just made the best grilled cheese there. It was weird because it wasn't anything special. It must have just been like the kind of cheese that they managed to get for it. I guess it was just like throwing bread and cheese in a panini press, but it just hit right. It was good.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, I'll say for people in Michigan, if you want grilled cheese, Mr. Don's in Battle Creek is like that is my go-to when I'm in the area. If I'm in Battle Creek and I need lunch, it's Mr. Don's and I'm getting a pair of grilled cheese sandwiches. And I'm never unhappy.
I've never been to that side of Battle Creek. I have this weird
It's good.
relationship with Battle Creek. I
Mhm.
I go there, right? Usually to hang out
Yeah.
with friends or anything like that. I do not go that deep into Battle Creek.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I think the deepest I've been to Battle Creek is the mall.
Mhm.
They're dying, dilapidated, dystopian mall.
they're moving the Horrocks that used to be downtown over there though, which will be weird.
Wait, the Horrocks at the mall? Like to the
So
mall?
do you know the Horrocks downtown Battle Creek?
Yes.
That one is they're closing that location and moving it to the Lakeview Mall.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So,
People are very unhappy, like understandably.
well,
Well, because like if you live in Battle Creek,
yeah.
that is like the only place that you can get fresh produce. And it's going to be gone.
Yeah. And you got to go all the way to the fucking Lakeview Mall and risk getting shanked to get
Yeah.
fresh produce.
It's really bad. Well, no, they just won't go because like, they don't have a car.
Yeah.
You can't walk that far. You can't walk back with fresh produce. It's like 10 miles.
Ah, dude. Can we explain what a Horrocks is to like all the
Oh
people
my God.
who don't know?
Let me see if they have their own words for it.
It's fucking
'Cause
heaven.
it's cool. It's like the proto Whole Foods.
Yeah, it's like Whole Foods for people who aren't douchebags.
Yeah. They don't
Dude.
really have a good about us. That's unfortunate.
Horrocks is just it's a grocery store, but it's like
Yep.
a grocery store on steroids. We're talking like the
Yes.
freshest produce you can get anywhere you live.
Mm-hmm.
Always good quality, always good prices too. I've never like
Yep.
seen anything outrageously priced at a Horrocks.
Yep. The big thing with it is that a lot of what they actually have isn't their own stuff. They
Yeah.
work like a marketplace where people will buy like a stall basically and sell their own things there instead.
Yeah. And these people fucking roll up with good quality shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's really good.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
They've got like beautiful garden sections in the beginning.
The other thing they have is that they have a lot of like unique produce that you can't get other places or you can't get fresh other places.
Yeah.
That is really helpful for like if you're looking for specific fruits or vegetables for specific regional dishes that aren't local to our area.
Yes. Like, oh, isn't it also like one of the few places you can actually drink where you're shopping?
They have started doing that, yeah.
Yeah.
You can open drink out of like a glass while you're walking around, and it's pretty great.
I love their coffee bar. They have a fucking coffee bar at my Horrocks where you can get like a nice latte to like drink while you're there for free.
Have you ever had their pizza?
They have pizza?
I don't know if it's like all locations, but at the one in Battle Creek they do. Yeah.
Motherfucker.
And it used to be like by the slice kind of thing where it was part of their deli. They would just have a couple of pizzas out and you could get a piece of pizza to go.
Yeah.
Apparently now you can just buy pizzas to order.
That's so cool. Oh,
That's really and they're good. They're just fresh pizza.
dude, yeah. My Horrocks has a deli like that. I just remembered.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've not had their pizza, but
Mm.
I've had their macarons. The macarons are good.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a bit on the expensive side as pizza goes, but it is good.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get it by the slice, it's totally reasonable. It's like a couple bucks.
Yeah. People always say how the Midwest has Meijer as like its main
Mhm.
grocery store, but fucking Horrocks is like the best.
Meyer is good for like not food.
Yeah.
If that
You're
makes
right.
sense.
Yeah.
You get your food at Horrocks, and if you can afford it, and go to Meyer for everything else.
Yeah. There you go. I've not had a bad experience at a Horrocks, but and I do not ever want that to change. It is just beautiful.
It's good.
Yeah. Horrocks, pay us for that advertisement. You just got the best fucking ad of your life.
Yeah, they call it Tavern for their beer and wine and stuff.
Does Horrocks even advertise? Because like I've never seen an advertisement for Horrocks.
Not so much anymore. They used to.
Okay, because it's like such a word of mouth thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just know.
You just know.
People just know.
If you are in the know, you will know where Horrocks is, and if not, go enjoy being in your like Walmart trash.
Yeah.
Horrocks is where it's at.
They do have a leg up with Michigan being so big on craft and microbrews.
Fucking Grand Rapids is Beer City, USA, motherfucker.
Yep.
You go downtown Grand Rapids, right? When I was working down there, every tavern list it has its own style of microbrew, and it's just like everybody has to advertise that. If you do not have a distillery in the back of your tavern, you are not going to get customers. It's ridiculous. So what else do we have to talk about now that we've just went on such a fucking food tangent?
So, Halo show,
Oh
my
yeah,
experience with it has come to an end now. I didn't see the next episode, but I did have a really interesting kind of like revelation about it though.
go on.
Disney Plus and the Marvel shows has just primed me with their 6 episode block
Yeah.
to the point that I didn't realize that the Halo show is actually 9 episodes long.
Oof.
And I was like, yeah, I'll just watch one more and catch the rest of it. No, there's 4 more episodes. So I'm at the point where I just don't care what happens. Reading the plot synopsis, this next episode sounds like another slow one, which is absolutely what the action show needed, was another filler episode. But it made me kind of like appreciate the Disney Plus stuff, because if there is something like WandaVision or Loki that you genuinely want to see, you can actually buy a month of Disney Plus when like the 3rd episode comes out,
Mm-hmm.
and catch up on the first 2 and then watch through the rest of the season as the rest of the world does, without committing to just having this subscription service forever.
That's a really good
And
point.
you can't really do that with traditional shows. Yeah, like, because this is 9 weeks.
Yeah.
That's technically 3 months of subscriptions.
Yeah.
And it fucking sucks. That's a lot. Like $10 to watch a bad show or a show that is like questionable is not that bad. $20 is a lot more.
Is that how much it is for a Paramount Plus subscription?
It's $10 a month.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yeah, I think they have a lower tier for like $5 a month, but it has ads. So what's the point?
I mean, I as a cheapskate myself, Kyril, I will have you know I have ads on my HBO. Yes, I do live in a trailer. Thank you for asking.
I just get frustrated by it. I have the thought of just like, okay, cool, I'll just keep funneling my money into YouTube and just watch everything there.
Yeah, YouTube's pretty great.
It is. I just hope they don't. Given how long Google has been losing money on YouTube, I am optimistic that they won't keep raising their prices more at this point. Not for a while, at least.
Dog, you're paying for YouTube? I get it for free.
Yeah. I pay to get the ads taken off, and it helps content on it. What was the number? Linus Tech Tips on their podcast was talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and it's actually like pretty substantial. Where like one, in terms of money, one premium view is equivalent to like 2.5 ad watching ones, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, but that also kind of like puts to scale how little money they get per view. And it's like, damn, that sucks.
YouTube is not a great place for a career.
It's really not.
No, you are fucking yourself over if you decide you want to be a YouTuber. If you were a YouTuber, Kyril, what kind of content would you make?
I would want to do like tech stuff, like tech reviews and that kind of stuff.
Oh, really? You
I like the engineering and the building of things like that. Yeah.
I admire engineering so much, but I do not have the brain set for it. I tried so hard.
I don't know. I don't necessarily, not necessarily in that way. I like to appreciate when people are able to find clever solutions to problems.
Okay, yeah.
And we're very much in a time period right now where in terms of technology, we're kind of plateauing for a bit. So it lets innovation start to happen in other aspects of it. So like rather than getting more performance out of a computer by just making better parts, they have to engineer better solutions for the parts they already have.
Okay, that makes sense.
One of the big changes with CPUs was that before, so the typical way that a CPU is it has like the PCB, and then the components are mounted to that, and then it has a heat spreader that goes on top of that helps make the heat go to the fan so it gets cooled.
Hmm.
For a long time, they just used regular thermal paste between the components and the heat spreader. One of the things they changed recently is they started to solder it together because you can't open it up then, but metal is more conductive than any sort of paste you're going to put on because you're physically attaching them to each other at that point. So it's like that's the extremes that they're going to get more and more performance out, is that they have to completely change the way that they assemble their components rather than just putting better components in the same thing.
I dig
I
it.
find that fascinating.
Yeah.
I could go on for probably not enough time to make money, but a while.
There's no money in YouTube, Kyril.
I know.
Unless you want to
So
just
join my Patreon.
unless you want to degrade yourself into fucking turning into Jake Paul, no money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I do respect Patreon a lot to that degree, though, because it lets like internet historians actually make a living doing what they're doing.
Yes. And
It's pretty great.
remember, everybody, if you do find someone you genuinely want to support and you want to see more content of theirs, always feel free to hit them up and give them some money because shit ain't cheap.
A couple bucks goes a long way.
It really does.
Do you know Dank Pods?
Bless you. No,
They are a audio YouTuber who just does kind of variety stuff.
Okay.
But they have a Patreon that they started when they were doing their YouTube stuff because people wanted to help support what he was doing. And he has one tier. I mean, he doesn't have one tier anymore, but all the tiers give access to the same stuff,
Okay.
which is the Discord that he has, and it starts at $1. So at least $1 per person. Oh my god, it's gotten even more. Wow, holy shit. When I joined, he had about 10,000 patrons at a dollar-ish a month.
Okay.
That's some easy math to do. And it's crazy that this Australian guy just ranting about headphones and drums and shitty iPods is able to make a living doing that. Because you'd never be able to do that just off of YouTube revenue. But because Patreon exists and people genuinely like what he's doing, he's not only able to make a living doing it, he's now able to hire his close friend and his mom to help him run it and keep track of the finances and the projects they're doing. That's fucking awesome. I was taken aback there, though, because now he doesn't have 10,000 patrons. He has almost 38,000.
Yeah. You know, those are pretty impressive numbers.
Like $1 per.
I mean,
It's exploded. That's crazy.
I mean, at that point, yeah. I always felt the best like option for Patreon is to always do those small dollar subscriptions. That way, you're not exactly detouring people off.
Yep.
And like everybody can spare $1 every month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it helps to spread it out that way too. Like $1 here, $1 there across 5 or 10 goes, in terms of like the scale of the internet, goes a lot further than just one person getting all that.
Exactly.
Man, that's wild. That's like he's quadrupled in the last year.
It's unfair.
I hadn't realized. It's wild. It's not fair.
It's not fair.
Okay, I don't want to talk about this much, but I do want to talk about it very briefly because something that I think is actually interesting came out of this, out of the other just clown show that it is, with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp defamation trial.
Yes.
Don't want to get into the actual trial itself because I personally don't care. There's been some entertaining moments out of it, like I believe it was Amber Heard's lawyer objecting to his own question after he asked it, which is not how that works, in case you were wondering. Um, you could kind of see he just seems like so defeated though in that moment because he asked this question and immediately realized that he phrased it badly, that gave the person testifying kind of an out to it, and tried to object as the person was answering it in the exact way he didn't. And the judge just looked at him just like, you fucking idiot. You know that's not how it works. But the part that I find interesting that came out today was that apparently Amber Heard paid, not paid, in exchange for a $3.5 million donation. The ACLU ghost wrote the article at the that was like the key piece of the accusations against Johnny Depp. So the ACLU was
What?
paid basically to write it anonymously, and then she distributed it to other places. And that seems really weird.
How is that legal?
I don't know. I would assume, as far as the ACLU is concerned, depending on the contract they had, it was like not that weird. Like, you know, here's a donation of money in exchange for time.
Yeah.
And as long as it's all that aspect of like the financials of it is above board, I don't think there's anything wrong with there. Legally, there's probably not anything illegal about it, but it's just like a moral thing. It is really weird.
I feel like if you can get like actual proof that you were like paid to like that someone paid to ruin your
But the clear
reputation.
thing though is I don't know the because that's not illegal, you know.
I feel like this would be a slander
That
case though. Like I guess if it's
that is
not
what the
true.
lawsuits are part of. Like
Yeah.
that is the core of them is, did defamation happen on either side?
Yeah.
Depp is saying it did. Is accusing Heard of saying that it did, and I believe she's countersuing for it's whatever. That's part of the reason that I don't care, because these are both two independently wildly successful people that seem to have some really petty shit going on between them, and I find it really hard to get involved with that.
I mean, yeah. I don't even know where to start on that bullshit. Like from what I understand, it sounds like, you know, I don't know. Like I'm very hard to take a stance on this because everybody has their own version of the story. And depending on
Yep.
who you listen to the story for, it wildly differs, which is why
Yep.
I'd rather wait till this trial ends so the courts can like do my dirty work for me so I don't have to bother with it because I don't like celebrity
Yep.
bullshit.
I'll also say though, from Amber Heard's position, I think $3.5 million is way too much money, but it is not unreasonable to pay professionals to write something, basically on your behalf.
Yes.
So even though it's definitely weird, I don't think there's anything illegal going on with it. It's just weird.
Yeah. Could you imagine being a ghostwriter like that?
It'd be weird. I don't think I can actually.
Yeah, cuz like how do you claim your own work since you're not allowed to like disclose what you did your work on?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I would imagine that there would have to be like I guess maybe that's why it is so infamous, because you can't. So in order for someone to become a ghostwriter, they have to have some sort of their own notoriety to start with.
Mhm.
And by ghostwriting for someone else, that does kind of tarnish it a bit.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so it's kind of creepy in a way, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
also I don't know, kind of scummy at the same time.
Yep. last piece I have.
Yes.
Um, Overwatch 2, the beta for Overwatch 2 is out. And they're doing the thing that they did with Valorant, where you have to watch Twitch streamers playing it at certain times in order to get a key to actually get to do it as a plebeian yourself. Which generally isn't, I mean, it's not generally that bad. Like the thing with the Valorant way that Valorant did it actually made sense. Because it was like, here's a list of 100 people, 100 streamers
Yeah.
that we're coordinating with and basically paying to play Valorant, the beta, on these days. Tune into one of them, and if you're lucky, randomly, you'll get a drop. And the randomly part was the thing that kind of equalized it. Was that, you didn't have to necessarily do anything or be special. You just had to tune in and wait.
Mhm.
And you either got to watch other people play it for the first time, or if you're lucky, you got to play it yourself. And with the way that they had it, it worked out so that basically anyone after like 6 or 8 hours would get it statistically. The Overwatch one is different in that you have to watch for 4 hours. And after 4 hours, you get the code, but they have it so tightly restricted. I've been seeing this on Twitter where there's a lot of people that are just like, wait, Overwatch 2 is in beta now? How do I get it? Oh, I can't because it's already over. That sucks. And apparently, it might be because it's not especially good, or it's not different enough from, uh, Overwatch 1, basically,
To
is
me,
the criticism that I've been seeing.
yeah, I'm seeing like a couple red flags with just the story you're telling me. Like,
Yeah.
if it's a new IP like Valorant, it makes sense because what you're really doing is
Mm-hmm.
getting everybody's toes in the water and then slowly introducing more and more people. Because, like,
Right.
when you begin it with like just a key amount of beta testers, what you're really doing is creating a high play level ecosystem where you get to show the kind of gameplay you want everybody to be exposed to at first. And then as new players enter into the beta, then that gameplay kind of dilutes, but it doesn't matter as much because it's the beginning of a community per se. Now, when you have like Overwatch or something like that, and you're automatically like, everybody knows how Overwatch plays. If you played
Yep.
Overwatch 1, you probably go and know a lot of things about Overwatch 2. So, what's the point in trying to like handle this in a controlled ecosystem and not just give out as many keys as possible? Because at the end of the day, you're just going to ensure more sales from that than this whole slowly introducing it to people.
Yeah, it is weird. There's like two things for me that are weird.
Yeah.
And the one is that even if you're like a very dedicated Overwatch 1 player, there's no guarantee you're getting in. And that's the weird thing for me. You'd think as a company, you would want your most dedicated fans to have access to your new thing to hype it up.
Yeah, that's an automatic sale.
Yeah.
A good portion of people who played Overwatch 1 are likely going to be the candidates for Overwatch 2. Yeah.
I don't know. Not big on it.
Yeah. I think they were just trying to replicate Valorant's success with that.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Which is no one's ever going to. Valorant only popped off as much as it did because you get a shitload of people from CS:GO that can't play it for any number of reasons, or have been for a long time looking for something similar but different, and Valorant gives them that.
Yeah.
There's a reason why so many Valorant pros are ex Counter-Strike pros. It's because they're very similar games, and there's a lot of people that just wanted something different and gave it to them.
So I'm actually thinking about starting fighting games.
Mm.
Yes. So to help with that,
Admirable.
commemorable?
Admirable.
Admirable. Okay. Um, to start with that, I've practiced not showering.
Yeah.
No. No. I'm excited.
Good first step.
Mm-hmm. I've always liked fighting games for their style. Uh,
Mm.
but I don't know. It's a lot of the Smash community has like turned me off from fighting games because we all know the Smash community. If you
Yes.
don't, you're a lucky bastard.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know what game I'm going to start with. I've been recommended Dragon Ball Fighter Z and Skullgirls, and I'm really leaning towards
What's
Skullgirls.
I've been interested in checking out one. I don't remember what it's called. I've seen a couple of the creators that I follow talk about it, and it looks cool. I particularly like the art style of it. Let's see if I can find what it's called.
Oh, I also want to try
Um,
Lethal League Blaze.
hmm, where is it? Wasn't that long ago. Guilty Gear Strive.
Oh yeah, Guilty Gear
I
as well.
really love the art style they have.
The problem is I just have my little baby Switch, and the only
Yeah,
Gear games there are re-releases of the older ones.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me. Did you hear about the Sega Sonic thing?
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Balan Wonderworld. I,
Did something happen with it?
oh, you didn't hear?
Maybe I did and I just blocked it out.
The director came out on Twitter that he was suing the company because they
Oh,
got
yeah,
yeah they
I did hear about that. Yeah.
yeah essentially Yuji Naka, the director, got ding dong ditched by the company 6
Yeah.
months before release and ruined the game, which wasn't that hard to tell.
I find it really hard to give a shit about anything Yoshinaka related at this point.
He's literally the father of Sonic the Hedgehog. Why are you like this, Mr. Cairo?
I was reading some articles about this, and it's just like, yes, Sega treated him badly. But if you look past the lens of 2 years ago, you can see he's also kind of just shitty as a director to work under.
I mean, yeah. I just I find it hard to care about. Um
You know,
because I imagine while it probably would have turned out a little more consistent than it actually did, ultimately what's 6 months worth of work gonna equate to like the larger project? I think it
yep,
was built on fundamentally flawed foundation.
absolutely.
Yes.
The do press one button to do everything. There's a reason we added more buttons to our controllers.
Yes, this isn't Pong.
And there's a reason, even at the very fucking start, when consoles actually were successful, they had more than one button.
Yes.
It's not knack.
Do you think you could actually hook up a Pong controller and like rewire it to actually play Balan Wonderworld?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you might be able to do that. That'd be crazy if someone could do
It is, fairness where it's due. It is sure as hell one button.
that.
You could probably hook up an old 2600 controller. Way easier.
Nah, dude, you got to do the Rock Band drum set.
That would be more challenging just for moving, but the 20, because the 2600 has the button and stick, so that's all you need. But Sega announced that they're going to be delisting a pretty large number of classic Sonic games in anticipation of their releasing a compilation thing.
I love it when companies do it. It just reminds me how much they're rat bastards behind the scenes.
Yep. So they're delisting on all platforms, as far as I understand, both Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, and Sonic CD.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be releasing. I don't even care what it's called. Sonic Origins. Go figure. Yeah. With the added little sprinkling of spice that is de nouveau DRM.
Is De Nouveau that really bad DRM that like
Yes, it
doesn't?
is.
Okay, yeah,
That for the average person sucks, and for people who try to get around it, it is trivial to do so.
yeah. But it's just not even like a good DRM. It's a DRM
Mhm.
in name only.
Yep. Well, yeah, it's a DRM in the sense that it does stop like the most simple ways that people might try to mess with game files and stuff, but it's become so easily cracked at this point that people who are like making the hacks and stuff for it know to work around it. It's completely ineffective.
That's so fucked up. But yeah, let's do it. 30-year-old games. Let's go. Did I do the meme right?
Yeah, good.
Thank you. Is there any other gaming news that we've neglected?
I was
Entertainment
gonna say
news?
if you did get into fighting games, what
Yo.
would your fighting game name be?
Oh, shit. Do I have to get a fighting game name?
I guess not necessarily.
I was about
Most
to.
people have one, you know. Like it's just like a username that they go by.
Yeah. I mean, I've pretty well branded myself as the infamous Orion at
Mhm.
this point.
Yeah, that works. That
Yeah,
would work.
that would work.
Are you sure you wouldn't want to be X a Dark Side Rail?
No, I think I'm actually going to be Sonichu did nothing wrong.
We were talking about how apparently Elon Musk and Grimes had a second kid,
Oh, yeah.
named Exa Dark Side Rail Musk, or I missed this before, or Y, the letter Y for short.
Scratch that, my dude. I'm taking that as my name just to bully a toddler.
Yes, excellent.
Musk is going to come up to me. He's like, I need you to sell me the rights to that name. And I'm going to, like, pull up in my little swingy chair and be like, I've been expecting you, Mr. Musk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I became the CEO of Twitter. Anyway, I forgot what I was about to say about that. I don't know. Do you think like they do this like random word generator for their kids?
No, all of them seem to have meaning. Whether or not like it's okay, it's clearly a bad idea what they're doing. Um, but they don't seem to be doing it right, at least. Just
What's
stupidly.
I know Elon has like a couple kids, like quite a few. So what are their names compared to the Grimes children?
7 kids?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. Go through the order. We have Nevada Alexander Musk, born in 2002. Oh, no, sorry. Nevada died of sudden infant death syndrome.
Oh,
Rest in pieces.
yeah.
That's tough. After that, we have Griffin and Xavier, born in 2004. They're 17 now. Following that, Kai, Saxon, and Damien, born in 2006.
And then all of a sudden he just started hitting the keyboard.
And then we have X Ash A12 Musk. Oh, apparently the AE Ash and 12 violate California law for not being part of the English alphabet, forcing them to change the name to XAEA XII. Jesus, that's just as bad. I guess at least with that one, they give the kid the out of just going by Ash, because that's apparently what the AE part is just Ash,
I mean, Ash
which
is a good
is
name.
that's fine.
Yeah.
The name is dumb, but just shortening it to Ash is fine. Unfortunately for the latest child, Exa Dark Side Rail sounds like a fucking Hideo Kojima villain.
No, sir. I did not expect you to say
Oh
that.
my god. They named the nickname of Y because the other one is an X.
Yeah, you didn't realize that?
The next one's going to be Z.
Yeah.
It's going to be Z next. Well, I kind of like assumed, but overtly being like, yeah, you're the second child seemed really shitty. I thought maybe it was just a coincidence, but no. They're just shitty people.
They're celebrities, man. That's what they do. It's almost like as bad as the Will Smith and Willow Smith, and then Jada Smith and
Oh,
Jaden Smith.
yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, celebrities need to be kicked out of the gene pool.
Yes. Or just get rid of celebrities. Just let's just get rid of billionaires in general. How does that sound?
Yo, hit me up, bro. Let's topple the capitalist cows. Mother
Okay,
Russia is
curious
calling.
about this.
What's up?
Without getting into it, I was seeing some talk about how unprofitable Twitter is.
Okay.
Um, they have a research and development arm to their company, of course.
Yes.
Do you want to take a guess at how much they spend per year? What they spent in the last year on just R&D, just research and development?
44.6 million.
No, orders of magnitude off.
Motherfucker, what?
Yeah, I'm just see if I can find the numbers, but you're nowhere near.
But I
2021,
yes.
2021, Twitter spent 1.247 billion on research and development.
And they can't research and develop a fucking edit button?
Right? $1.25 billion.
Guys, it's not that hard to program a goddamn edit button. What were they researching and developing?
That's the question, right?
Because,
What the hell are they doing with that money?
like, Facebook
I,
makes
I
sense.
assume
Yeah.
I have to assume a lot of it comes down to like algorithm stuff, things that we don't actually see.
Yes.
But at the same time, I can't imagine that kind of work scales to the level where billions becomes a question. One of the comparisons I saw was like Apple. What is Apple? Because I saw that one talked about in like comparison. So for 2021, Apple spent $22 billion in R&D.
On
But
what?
they're making, well, so for Apple,
Yeah.
they have the justification of not just making one app, but making dozens of applications. They make dozens of unique products that are released annually, and they completely made and maintain two separate operating systems.
Wait, what's the
Compared to
second?
Twitter, so iOS and macOS.
Oh, I didn't realize those were two separate.
Yep, they are. As far as I understand, they have some parallels that help them work together, but they functionally are different on like the back end.
Okay, that's forgivable. Continue.
Yep. So yeah, $22 billion for that versus Twitter. What are
Yeah.
they doing?
Researching the metaverse, my dude.
Probably. It's wild.
So, like, compare that to Facebook, because that's like the only other
Yeah,
like
I can
big,
look up Facebook.
yeah, or Meta or whatever it is now.
So this is I'm not going to do that because this is just Twitter. This isn't like, as far as I know, it's not any like side projects or parent company stuff. It's just Twitter.
Okay, that makes
So
more
let's see if we can
sense.
find this. Apparently, Facebook. Uh, that's like
Yes.
I'm trying to find this because it gets cut off. The Europe like anyways. So we have here a list of research and development expenditure of leading internet companies from 2014 to 2021. We have they don't differentiate past that. That's kind of frustrating. So Facebook, Meta platforms, so all Meta platforms, which is, I guess, Facebook, Uh, Snapchat, I think. No, Snapchat's separate. What's the other one that they bought? They bought something recently. It's all Facebook platforms. Apparently, 24 billion.
Okay.
What are they spending it on?
Taxes. Like they
Oh, to
should.
write the most racist algorithms, I guess. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like Alphabet, all of Google, fucking Google is 31 billion. And Facebook is spending 24. On what? What are they doing that is even half as large as all of Google, all of Alphabet?
The Zuckerbot.
It's wild.
So I think I need to put in more money into our research and development department as well.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't get it. What are they spending it on? Why does Facebook spend more on R&D than Apple?
You mean the people making the
What
self-driving cars, Apple?
what are they developing? Research, yes. Where's the development? Like it's like I don't get it. I do not get it. It has to be a racket, right?
I would think so. I mean, at this point, like, all you would need to do is to just show the expenditures. You don't really need to show development because development is such a hard thing to show. So if you want to do some easy money laundering, I think you could get away with research and development as like the money laundering section. Tell me I'm wrong.
Look this up real quick here.
Okay.
Inflation
Oh no.
14 to 20, 22. 2.4% per year. Uh, about 21% total. Okay. So Facebook has been hovering around the same year over year growth since 2016 of between 20 to 30% per quarter. It goes up and down, but it stays right around that number for the last 6 years. In that time, their research budget has gone from 5 billion to 27 billion.
Hmm?
So they're getting the same traffic as always, but they're spending 5.5 times more to keep it there.
That makes no sense. Like, what are they doing?
I don't know.
That makes
At
no.
least credit to Twitter when they started. There's a clear trend for them between uh, spending and platform health. There's a clear tail where they started to reduce spending around 2015 that represents a clear like loss quarterly of growth. And then after they start spending again, their growth goes back up into the positive. But it seems like it's still doing this thing where it's expanding very unsustainably. I don't get it. Does not make sense.
I don't know what to say. It like I wish I had that much money
Wow.
to throw away.
So here's a crazy thing.
Yo.
This is what I don't get. So for maybe is this just Twitter? This must be just Twitter. Okay, this is just Twitter. Compared to Snap. Oh my god. Okay, so Snap, which I assume is like Snapchat. What is Snap? Because they have R&D numbers. Tech? I don't believe this is the Snap program. Snap Tech. I don't know who this is. stock. Yeah, so it is Snapchat, the
Okay.
parent company that manages that social media. Snap has a market cap of, where did it go? It went away. Uh, $46 billion. Twitter has a market cap of $37 billion. Twitter spent what, 1.2 billion on research, and Snap spent about the same, even though Twitter is like half almost. It just doesn't make sense. What are they spending on? What are they fucking doing? Billions of dollars and they can't make a fucking edit button. Jesus. Like I know that sounds dumb, but that's accurate. Like that the whole thing with the edit button is like, how do you stop people from abusing it? I don't know. You're the one spending $1.2 billion annually. Figure it out.
Why can't you just write that it was like an edit? Like, okay, here's my idea, right? And
You mean the thing Discord figured out how long ago?
shh, 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 shh. Yes, exactly. Pay me like, how much was their research and development? Just send half my
$1.2
way.
billion dollars.
Yeah,
1.2 billion.
send half that way. Send the other half to Discord. We win.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe make a little side function where you can see previous versions of the tweet before it was edited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'd think.
I mean, it's not that hard.
It's especially frustrating though too, because if you're on, for me at least, I'm on Twitter fairly regularly, just fucking around, reading shit.
Yeah.
You'll regularly find something from a larger creator where they'll have like a typo in it
Mm-hmm.
that they accidentally had, and they'll posted it like 2 hours ago. And you'll just be scrolling around like, oh, I wonder what this is. You see the thing, you want to go see the discussion back and forth on it. So you tap into it and it's been deleted because they deleted it and reposted it without a typo,
Yeah.
which makes sense because they don't have another fucking choice. But now, as the user, the thing that I wanted to engage with has just disappeared from my screen. And I have no way of getting back to it because I'm not on a specific person's Twitter page. I'm just on my homepage. And now the thing that I wanted to look at has disappeared and been reposted 2 hours earlier, but it's not in the same spot. So fuck me.
Just a simple edit button would just do so much.
Mm-hmm. You think? We don't have the technology.
We don't.
Did I mention that with the Magic Arena has been having some fairly legitimate complaints levied at it over the in-game economy that it has?
What do you mean by in-game economy that it has? I thought you just pay like your in-game currency for magic bucks, and then you get cards.
Yes. Not you get random cards because you have to open them through booster packs. Still,
Okay.
even though it's digital.
Yeah.
And that's where the main complaint comes in because it works out to like you can either buy a deck in paper or you can buy it digitally, and it's basically the same price, except you can't trade the digital cards. So you're just out $200. With the paper ones, you can at least play with them in other formats or sell them later, but you can't do that digitally.
Yeah.
And people have been complaining about this, like basically since the platform launched like 5 years ago. And we've been getting this. We've heard you guys. We know you have concerns. We're working on it ourselves. We'll have a stream soon. It's literally been like 2 years. And they finally had this economy stream where everybody's just like, okay, what's your solution for the issues that people have with the economy? And it was basically an hour and a half of them going, the technology just doesn't work or something like that. You know, some variation of we can't do it. And their solution is, and this is like the obvious one, is that they have like basically a way where you can just buy cards with money now, except the price is exactly the same as it was before, so it doesn't solve the issue of having to spend the same amount of money digitally as you would in paper to get the same thing, except you can't trade one of them. So why would you ever do that?
The lols.
But it's basically this meme of just like, I feel bad for the guy who is the dev because you can tell he is like clearly so tired and probably working on this himself. And I feel like, you know, they're not stupid. They've been managing this game for 5 years. They know how they can get this stuff to work, but it just doesn't get approved because that doesn't make them as much money. But it's just this like deep sigh technology as
Oh.
everybody flees to every other digital card game,
Has Magic done any?
including their own one that's existed for like 20 years now and lets you trade cards.
Player-based economies don't exist. Keep defending our wallets.
Yeah.
Have they done anything with NFTs yet?
Not directly.
That's good.
So somebody tried to make Magic the Gathering NFTs without their permission,
Mm-hmm.
and they sent like a uh, a cease and desist prequel. It wasn't like an official cease and desist because this person hadn't actually done it yet. They just published this paper saying that they intended to. So the Wizards lawyer is great. It's worth a look up if you can find it. Sent this email to them that was basically just like the clippy pop up like, "Hey, it looks like you're trying to do a cease and desist. Don't," because it was like just blatantly stealing their IP.
I mean,
And yeah, like yeah, no shit, they're not gonna let you do that.
NFT bros need to steal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, it's how they get by.
Unfortunately. Like I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Because like how far are we into the NFT cycle? Like over a year now?
Oh, well over. Yeah,
Yeah.
first NFTs were in like 2016 ish,
I meant like when they
and
first
they
started
blew up
becoming.
in
Yeah.
yeah, they blew up in like this time last year.
Yeah.
And they've
So
fallen way off.
yeah. I'm surprised that like despite everything about them being the future, we haven't seen more creative endeavors from the community that isn't like just stealing.
Yeah, that is fundamentally the problem, is that there is yet to be a legitimate use for them that actually needs NFTs. I'll say one of the only instances that I've seen that talks about using blockchain and technically NFTs, but blockchain technology in general in a way that makes any sense. And even then, it doesn't really. But it's like, okay, I can appreciate your justification for this because it's not like a money making thing. It's not NFTs for the use of being sold and resold. Alfa Romeo has started to offer with all of their new cars an NFT for each car. And the idea is that when you take the car into an Alfa dealership, they have a record of the NFT that's associated with the car,
Mm-hmm.
and they're able to update on the blockchain all of the service that happened to that car.
Right.
So over time, as long as you're going to dealerships that support this program, which presumably all alpha like official ones do, and there's not a ton of like non-alpha dealers, at least in the US, um, you over time, just organically by doing basically nothing, get a always accessible digital record of all of the service ever done to that car,
See, that's at least
which is
practical.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, you don't necessarily need an NFT to have access to it, but you could make the argument that because it is completely publicly accessible, it's not being held by any private individual, there's very low risk of it ever being deleted. Any secondhand buyers also are able to then review the car history of any alpha under this program pretty much forever, as long as the HPL or HTTPS HTML website is still up that has these records, you can view it. So like that's almost a legitimate use. That's the closest one that I've seen that is like, okay, I get that. I get what you're doing. I don't necessarily think it's the only way to do it, but I get it.
Well, yeah, I feel like that's something the DMV could probably do, or, just any dealership itself without necessarily getting a blockchain involved.
You would think.
Yeah.
I think the justification is that because it's being hosted on a third party, even if worst case scenario, Alpha goes bankrupt, that record is still being hosted somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if it was being housed by the company themselves, if they go bankrupt, realistically, it's gone.
Yeah.
But again, you don't necessarily need the blockchain to do that either. It is, however, an option that isn't like, because this isn't being, you're not having massive amounts of trading being done, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, you're only making and updating this NFT once or twice a year at most. Like, how often do people realistically get their oil changed, right? That's the kind of service that you would expect to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a year. So expense wise, it's relatively small, especially if, you know, because it's not meant to be financial. You don't have to mint it on like fucking Ethereum. You can do it on one of these shitty small blockchains that have low costs because no one gives a shit about them.
No, it's impressive.
But it's telling that so much of it does get into the financial stuff that legitimately good uses that, or at least on the surface, that seem like legitimately good uses, get kind of swept up and disappeared.
Yeah. NFTs are just already eating themselves alive. That's all I need to say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure.
How's Crypto Island? Or Crypto Land?
Let's find out.
Yeah. Oh, Cryptoland, oh, Cryptoland. You're so decentralized, Cryptoland. I type in Cryptoland into Google, and the first thing that came up was Age of Consent.
Wonderful. Apparently, it has fallen out. It has a Know Your Meme entry.
Ooh.
That's brutal. Yeah, I'm literally finding nothing about it past what was already talked about back in January. It's being completely overshadowed by some stupid metaverse thing involving the Bored Apes bullshit.
Yeah, Bored Apes is just unnecessary.
I love this. This is Reuters. Bored Ape NFT company raises around $285 million of crypto in virtual land sale. So they didn't make money, they earned cryptocurrencies that they would have to convert. It's just great. It's like, yeah, we'll just throw this big number in there, even though it's like the same way how it's like, oh, this is this billionaire's net worth. Well, no, not really. Oh, here we go. January 15th, Cryptoland runs aground as $12 million build to buy Fiji Island for resort falls through.
Oh, no.
They don't even have the fucking island anymore.
What the fuck? What, they didn't want, like, the 20 million in Dogecoin?
Apparently not.
Damn. What happened to Dogecoin? Like, we need to do, like, a Where Are They Now crypto thing for, like, one of our episodes.
It's gone pretty far down
Of course it is.
since it spiked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still way up from what it was. So it was at like a quarter of a penny, and it spiked all the way to 64 pennies, and right now it's down to about 12 pennies.
Yeah. Oh, what's that to the Russian ruble right now?
A hell of a lot better.
Ooh.
1.4 pennies.
That's crazy.
So one Doge is worth about 10 ruble.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Ouch.
that's pretty rough.
That's gotta hurt. This was a world superpower at one point.
Mm-hmm. I did hear that apparently Sweden and Finland. I believe it was Sweden and Finland. I might be mistaken on the. It was two of those northern European countries have made the clear intention of filing for NATO membership.
Hey. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. So, who was it? One of the like higher ups at NATO was basically just like, yeah, if they go through the application process, it should be pretty smooth. We would look forward to having them.
Meanwhile, Putin's in a corner crying.
So we'll see if Russia decides to invade Finland again. It hasn't really worked well for them ever.
I feel like every time the something goes right for NATO, I can hear like Curb Your Enthusiasm music playing in the background in Russia. Bum
Yes.
bum bum
Perfect.
bum 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 dun, dun, dun. Anything else to report for the news today?
I don't think so. That's all I have, at least.
That's good because I don't have much more. Well, I've been the infamous Orion, and remember, uh, invest in your local Dogecoin more than your local ruble.
I'm Kyril, and I've also been a schmo.
This has been the Two Schmo Show.